Can't do it. Can't do it. Ava's mom tries to make me like cook her leftover like chicken burger. I'm like, I'm not eating this.
Chicken burger?
Yeah, she still just like accidentally buys like the dark meat stuff. And she's like, oh, I didn't mean to buy this. Yeah, chicken burger.
Was she against red meat?
She doesn't like red meat. She recently abdicated bacon from the house, so there's no bacon for Ava.
Is she not American? Does she hate America?
I guess so.
The fuck kind of communist shit is that?
I know, that's why I need to like free my child.
Listen, no child of mine is gonna refuse bacon, okay? Welcome back, people. It is Florida's Fittest podcast, and we are going crazy because we're still in quarantine.
That's right.
That's why we're talking about bacon right away.
It's another quarantine edition.
Yeah. I'm not gonna mention the
Hot and fresh out the kitchen.
yeah, I'm not gonna mention the unforgivable plague that is sweeping the nation.
It's here.
Because if I don't speak it, it doesn't exist. That is my philosophy to this point.
All I want to say is, I'm mostly frustrated, I think, because of a sense of, I don't know, one, being a smart ass, two, because we take it lightly because we don't think it to be that big of a deal.
Nope.
Because it's like, okay, there's a situation, let's address it, let's move on.
Yeah, let's not dwell on it too much. Like,
Yeah.
wash your hands, don't touch your face,
Yeah.
do all this shit you're supposed to be doing, and
Yeah. I feel like I need to clarify
Carry on.
that with some of the people I know, because I think they think that hold on, let me adjust this.
I mean, I definitely come off very dismissive, and I know I've frustrated a lot of family members about it, but like, this is how I deal with stress, and like how I deal with crisis.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing all the things that I can control.
You mean look at it objectively and
Yeah.
deal with what you can control?
Yeah, like, I'm doing all the things that I know I can control, and then I don't dwell on the fact that it's making people crazy. And for people who don't know me, like, I hate watching the news because it's either bullshit or just negative all the way through. Like, there's no good news ever come out of it, and like the rare cases that are, it's overclouded with more negative stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, I don't watch the news. If something actually does happen, like, I take it very seriously, and I can only control what I can control. I can't control anything else. Like,
Yeah.
I do get frustrated how like ugly society can get, especially, you know, what's going on now with, like, you know, stockpiling and hoarding, all that stuff, and like
With everything.
But I do like the fact that, like, our our grocery stores and our small shops are either like delivering stuff. Like, I saw O&A is dropping off growlers of coffee or beans, and like, I wish I lived
Hit
in.
them up now?
Huh?
You want to hit them up now?
Shoot, I wish I wish I lived in like the city of Sarasota limits where they could drop it off at my house.
That's kind of legit.
Because that's pretty cool. It's like the milkman, except better, you know? And like, grocery stores are opening up early for senior citizens to go shopping, which I think is awesome. And, I told you I was listening to a Cat Williams comedy, one of his older comedy shows. And, he obviously he said comedy comes from a dark place, and it's true, because like, there's nothing stronger than America during crisis. Like, our quote should be like, F out of here, like, with the crisis. Like, we are so strong when it comes to crisis, how we deal with it. We all band together, and like, unfortunately, it takes like something like this to happen for us to band together. But
Yep.
in hindsight, it is beautiful the way we help each other out, and get things for each other, and our bond is so strong as Americans. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there is no other country like it.
Yeah.
And we're definitely the strongest country in the world because of it.
I mean, just stuff like this kind of puts everything in perspective.
Yeah.
And it's like the pressure cooker. It's just like a lot of, I've been seeing a lot of quotes about how, like, what happens when you squeeze an orange? You get orange juice. What happens when you squeeze a person? It's like, well, this is what you get.
Yeah.
I probably butchered that.
But if you squeeze a person,
I can't be held accountable because I came off a 12-hour shift, and I'm not drinking coffee. So My brain's a little loopy. Speaking of news, that's the one thing I couldn't stand. Like I was sitting there at the nurse's station, and there's like a TV in this little chill out space in front of me. It's just like CNN blaring all night. That's not the point, by the way. I'm not like pointing out CNN. I'm just saying like there was a news station that was on that was all night, and then like about 5 doors over is one of the residents, and she has her door open, and it's got the same news station on, and I'm like, it's just there in stereo, and it's just fear.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's what the news does lately.
That's what it's been doing since they started the 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah, it's just like constant fear, and like I think it, that kind of stuff, like it melts people's minds basically.
Yeah,
totally screws them up. So,
well, it's important to kind of make that point because we were talking about like in between stimulus and response is a choice, and the thing that I'm definitely seeing nowadays with everything that's happening is people have a severe inability to make the choice that this is just sound. It's just stimulus.
And then like,
what they're hearing.
Like you can, bad things are going to happen in life. It's how you respond to it. And that's a Dabo Sweeney quote.
Yeah.
That was one of our quotes for today. But like, it's true. Like, it goes all the way back to stoicism. Like, you can only control what it's in your control.
Yeah.
Right? It's how you're going to respond to it. And if you're going to respond like a lunatic and like freak out, then it's going to be bad for you. So
and that's really what it all boils down to. And I think it's actually an important exercise, not just in stoicism, but if there's anything athleticism has taught me and fitness has taught me, is that you can learn to sort of dismiss or put off discomfort and pain for some greater gain.
And like all athletes have to learn this lesson. Like, you have to be able to adapt. Especially for what's going on in the NCAA and for CrossFit. A lot of CrossFit athletes like Henry are stuck doing limited equipment workouts.
So painful.
And he's a big barbell advocate. Like, he loves slinging weight, and he's a strong dude. Like, it's hard for him to sit still, so he has to figure out how to do things differently, whether it's a one dumbbell workout or just a bodyweight workout, and he gets creative, and he follows a program, and thankfully like they're providing him with limited equipment workouts. And like I've subscribed to comp training, and they have no equipment workouts, and they have a barbell workout, and they have like 2 different variables. And like a lot of gyms are doing that too. Like a lot of affiliates are closed, obviously, and it's either they're renting out equipment.
It's the law, guys.
Yeah, it's the law. So if you are inviting your friends to your garage, technically you're breaking the law.
But are you though? You're a private citizen.
It's depending on what the government says. So like,
that's true.
Governor DeSantis said all gyms are closed, and if you're
But you're not a gym.
if you're a CrossFit gym or an affiliate, like, you technically are a gym.
But you're not an affiliate.
I'm not an affiliate.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are welcome to come to my garage all you want. Like, I'm not a gym.
Mark's place.
I'm not a gym owner. But like, gym owners, especially like, a lot of them are doing it are really, really good, and like, they're not the ones like screaming like, "Oh, support your business." Like, if you don't have a contingency plan for a business, like, what are you really doing? Like,
That's true.
a lot of them are renting out equipment to members where, obviously they sanitize, and then when they bring back the equipment, they're going to sanitize it again. And they're programming, at-home workouts, bodyweight workouts with which a lot of people are really doing well. And that's the thing I love about what's going on in social media is like, I see all these posts of people working out at home or doing things at home that they normally wouldn't do. And like,
People are killing it.
Like having Zoom conferences at home, and like they're having a good time doing it, like, and it's bringing people closer together. And that's another thing that I love about America. Like, crisis really brings us together and like makes us realize what's important in life. But like the gyms that are not giving, at-home workouts or, online classes or renting out equipment, like,
You guys are missing out.
you're missing out, and like you have no reason to gripe and cry about it. Like, you should be. That's something you should be doing.
That's crazy. Like I realized that like now we're really leveraging what power social media has. And I think for the longest time we've been griping about how social media can like massively isolate you. But now in the state of isolation, people are actually taking advantage of it and connecting. I think we're realizing that, we really do miss or we take for granted all the times that we're out. Like you're saying, like, you get restless. I'm freaking restless.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize just how much outdoor time I spent until I don't have much of it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And like I told you, like I was working out in my garage and I see all my neighbors like either taking walks with their dogs or riding bikes or running, and I'm like, you guys think I'm crazy for working out in my garage, yet you guys are running all the time now. I'm like, what are you guys doing outside your house? So I find it, funny, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, remember to keep a 6 foot distance, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So another thing that CrossFit HQ is doing is they announced an online competition to raise money for affiliates. They've actually stopped or postponed or reduced the fees for affiliates. So if you're a CrossFit affiliate, you obviously have to pay like a monthly fee to CrossFit HQ to keep your CrossFit name. So they're raising money for, like, I don't know how it's going to go, because I know like they had 2 opens last year and not as many people participated, like sending money for the open as previous years, just because I feel like the open's dying. But
Think so?
I think so. That's my personal opinion. I don't know what the stats are.
Well, I mean, let's kind of go down that wormhole for a little bit. The Open was kind of their way of getting athletes into the games, right?
Yes.
So,
and like you can still get athletes in the games, but you have to be like, you have to finish first, basically.
Gotcha. So how are you saying that like there's just so many people that are like risen to the top that pretty much
It's
like,
becoming so competitive.
Yeah.
To where like you can, like if you were like,
You were
from
just like
small,
some
like if you're from like
run-of-the-mill-
you're from the if you're you're from the Philippines, like
Yeah.
if you were to compete in the Philippines in the Open in the Philippines and you place number 1 in the Philippines, you get a berth to go to the CrossFit Games.
Okay.
But if you compete in the United States, you'd have to be number 1. You'd have to beat Frazier. You'd have to beat all the top, if you're a woman, you'd have to beat Carrie Pierce, who's like the number 1 woman in the country for CrossFit, or at least in the United States.
You've got to qualify for those slots.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have to get invited to a sanctional, and obviously if you don't win the Open in your state, in your country, you have to go to a sanctional.
What you're saying is like if you happen to be in the same region as say Rich Froning, unless like he
does teams. So,
he does, well, I mean back in the day, like if under those circumstances, like if Rich never stopped just crushing it, what you're saying is he'd basically have to beat him, or something would have to happen where he got knocked out of the games, out of the running, in order for you to be able to like get a shot.
Basically, yeah. It's just like it's almost run like the Olympic trials, like especially in the United States. Like I don't know how other sports do it. Like I'm sure track is the same way, where they take the top 2 in every event. Like for swimming, like top 2 in every event, except for maybe like the 100 freestyle and the 200 freestyle, where they take the top 4. You have to be top 2 in order to go make the United States Olympic team.
Oh yeah.
So
that
it's
it's already
like
stacked.
so yeah. So like back in my swimming heyday, I would basically have to fight for second place, because I knew I wasn't going to beat Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
Like that was basically what it was, and like that was basically because I swim the same
But
event.
it happens. It happens though, right?
At the Olympic trials, like you're not going to beat him. Like that spot is his.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is fighting for second place.
Gotcha.
Some people really thrive, and like United States is the number 1 country, like number 1 in swimming and in track. So like the track and field, like those are the 2 most competitive sports that we have.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get.
So basically, like
that US
to get that like number 2 spot, there had to be like some crazy act of God where everybody else got knocked out of the runnings.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, as far as like the Open goes, it's like it's almost just like a cute thing. But if Noah Olsen's up there and Panchik and whoever else has been crushing it over the last maybe 3 years, like it's probably not going to be likely that you'll get in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really really competitive. So
yeah.
Their best options. Like I kind of like the sanctionals because it opens up everything to.
Well, it's 2020 and
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
equality.
Yeah, equality, and like I like the sanctionals because it brings you to like a different place. But I also miss regionals to where like, you know, the best in the Southeast compete, the best in the Northeast compete, the best in the Midwest compete.
Yeah.
You know, and like I like that, you know, top 5 spot. Like I feel like they can have regionals and sanctionals at the same time,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't make a difference. That's just my opinion, but
Well, it gives you an idea of like
yeah.
where you stand as far as the rest of the country is concerned.
yeah.
Yeah. What do you think Henry is?
Yeah, I honestly think like
You think he can make like a solid run to the games? Because I feel
if he
like-
goes to like a sanctional, and I think Wadapalooza would be a good one for him because it's one of the bigger sanctionals, and
Is that considered a sectional?
yeah, it's
Oh, it
considered
is? Okay.
sanctional. They always have his swims, and if I can work with him on a swim, he'll kill it.
Because he's really
Yeah.
good at everything else.
He's really good, you know, barbell movements, like, and his aerobic capacity is pretty good. So,
Yeah. And he's like the right size for the
yeah,
games too.
exactly. So I feel like just
Genetics
tweaking,
matters,
yeah,
guys.
Genetic,
But it's not
It-
like. But here's the thing. Like I say genetics, and it's like it's not like Henry's like 6'4". Like Henry is like competitively genetically fit for what the CrossFit Games demands.
yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
right around.
I feel like genetics
5'7", 5'9".
genetics doesn't always play a precursor. Like, obviously, like there's a whole conversation about nature versus nurture.
Yeah.
And like I'm not built like a prototype swimmer. Like I'm
Yeah.
definitely not what you see. Like I had teammates who were definitely built the same way that I was, and they're not prototype swimmers. And I had freaks of nature who were on my team who were prototype swimmers. I grew up in a swimming family. Like I had tenacity. I didn't care who you were. I was going to race you no matter what.
Yeah.
Do I have genetic advantages? Maybe,
Potentially.
potentially. Like I knew, you know, during high school and college, I have to go to the doctor to get my physical done for sports to go into college. They found out that I had an enlarged heart. It was 20% larger than normal people. That's why my heart rate was so low and my blood pressure was so high. They had to figure that out. I'm double jointed in my knees. So I have more flexion when I do dolphin kick. I'm double jointed in my shoulders. My shoulders are really flexible. Gave me more reach. I have a 6'1" wingspan and I'm only 5'10". Like that also plays a factor. It's all these different variables. So like, was I a prototype swimmer or was I not? You know, prototype swimmer would be.
Yeah, you took advantage of whatever.
Yeah, I took advantage of whatever.
Yeah.
You know, genetics that God or whatever, whoever gave me.
Yeah.
And then like obviously talent and like talent works until hard work beats it. I mean.
Yeah.
There's so many factors that go into it.
Yeah. Basically, we were talking about like the regionals, sectionals. You have a shot, but it's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, and you're going up against a lot of people who have been like holding those spots for a long time.
Yeah.
Like ready to break into that door, or have probably gone to the games and have the chance to do it again.
Yeah, and like this also goes to like the Olympic sports. Like as many of you guys know, the Olympics have been postponed, which I'm thankfully it's not canceled, but it's definitely like the first time in my lifetime, because I remember in 1980, I wasn't born yet obviously, but in 1980 the Olympics were boycotted by the United States.
Yeah.
Because of the whole Cold War issue.
Yep.
But this is the first time in my lifetime that the Olympics have been postponed or canceled for their year. And I'm upset because like I love the Olympics. Like that is my favorite. Like I'm a huge supporter of Team USA because they've never let me down.
Yeah.
Unlike my alma mater has this year in football. But it's devastating for a lot of people who literally this is like their life's dream, like life's work, and they have to postpone it for a year. And like not saying like they're totally out of it, but like a lot of shit can happen in a year. Like you can get injured, like, and then your whole dreams are crushed.
Yep.
So one of the athletes, probably the greatest swimming athlete of all time, Michael Phelps, he's a big mental health advocate, and he talks about his concern about Olympic athletes, like how it's postponed. It can hurt them mentally, and like for him, like well, a lot of people don't know this, but after he won all those gold medals in, it wasn't Athens, was it Beijing in 2008? He won 8.
I don't remember.
Well, he became like,
He became God.
yeah, he won 8 gold medals. I think it was in Beijing. Yeah. He got really depressed. Like, a lot of people don't know that. Like, he was severely depressed. He didn't swim for like a year, and then in 2012, or the years leading up to 2012, like, he took a year off and only trained for 3 years, which is unheard of. Like, normally you take like a small break and then you go back right into swimming. Like, I think the longest break I've ever took from swimming was 2 weeks, and that hurt me tremendously. So after that, I only took like 3 days. So, but like, yeah, it's a huge mental concern. Like, and especially for having something you work so hard to compete in, and your life goal, like dream, to be,
being.
your entire being, like your entire purpose of competing in that sport to be ripped away from you. Like, I could see like the huge mental breakdowns that can happen.
Yeah.
And like, if you're feeling that way, like, you definitely need to go talk. You can't bottle that stuff up. Like, I know a lot of athletes are very stoic and they
tough.
because
They deal with
you deal with a lot of shit
a lot
as
of
an athlete,
and tragedy.
you have to have a healthy way of coping with it. Like, for me, like, I would bottle stuff up until I explode, and that's just me. Like, cause I didn't have a rough background, but I've had certain things in my life that made me that way, to where I didn't want to talk about certain things, and you literally have to bring down all my barriers, all my walls, and then break open the chest that is my life, and get what's coming out, what's to the root of what's bothering me. So, and like, I'm happy that Phelps is a huge advocate of it, and he's actually doing some good things for these athletes.
Doing some advocacy around it, I believe. Yeah. I mean, that's just with anything. Even you don't have to be an athlete to have that. When you kind of define your life based on something, like there have been stories of big CEOs who define their lives based on their success, and if they happen to fail, like the 2008 financial crisis, committed suicide.
Yeah.
Because when you define your life based on that thing and it starts to crumble, you question who you are. So that is a very real concern when it comes to, say, the Olympics and all these things that are coming up. And certainly for us individually, like, we've defined so much over, like, I didn't realize just how much of a thing it was to go to the gym for me until I couldn't,
And I feel it's affecting a lot of people. I told you one of our future guests, Mike Orlando, he's literally going insane. Like, he can't train, and he's stuck at home with his fiance, and he's like, I take my if you guys don't know who Mike Orlando is, he's a professional wrestler. He lives in town.
He was in like episode number 2?
He was in episode number 2. Just the Green Machine and Ali Rex. We talk about everything from chicken nuggies to chalky milk. They're awesome people, and he's literally going insane, like inside his own house. And he worked out with me earlier this week, and I'll try to get him. I'll probably go to his house today and pick him up, drive him down to my place to work out.
Nice.
But just to get him out of the house.
Yeah.
But he's literally going insane inside his own house. And like, there's so many things that he can do, but like, I think he needs this place where like he can be himself inside of a gym.
It's definitely made me realize that I need, like, when I'm thinking I need gym equipment, it definitely makes me think, damn, like, this is what a drug addict feels like.
Like we said last week, it's a dopamine response.
Yep.
And like, some people don't understand, like, exercise releases endorphins, and you feel so much better when you do it that you're kind of addicted to that feeling, which, like, it's a healthy addiction.
Yeah.
And it's only benefiting you, but like, when you don't do it, like, you feel really low. Like, I know if I don't work out every day, like, I feel really low about myself.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's very healthy.
It's definitely a good place to get out some of that pent up energy.
And I feel like a lot of people are getting really creative, and like, I know a lot of people are annoyed about the C10 do 10 challenge. Like, I've had teammates who are like, dude, I just finished working out. Like, why are you sending me
more.
this? Yeah. And like, it's fun. Like you don't have to do it obviously that day, but like I love that when people are tagging me in a C10 do 10 challenge. Like I don't care. Like I did
do 20. I'm like, God damn it.
Well, like somebody, somebody said 10 push-ups. Like I can do 10 push-ups all the time. Like do 20 push-ups. Yeah. And then one of my teammates, Juan Sequeira, like he tagged me in a C40, Sen 40. So I was doing 40 push-ups. I'm like, damn it, dude, I just did like 100 and something push-ups today. Like, come on, man. So, and then like I challenged different people to different things. I tagged one of my old roommates, Doug Ramos, to do like 10 dips, and he's like, dude, I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, I can't do 10 dips. So I was like, all right, well, I'll send you like a beer challenge, and he's like, I can do that. So it's it's fun to get that like community and like that camaraderie, and like in this time of isolation, it's good to see like people come together and interacting. So like we said earlier in the podcast,
and you can really reach out to a bunch of people, which is dangerous because if you do like a C10, do 10, and then you get people blasting it back to you.
Yeah,
and you having to do like 100.
Well, it's not. I mean, are you gonna get rhabdo?
No.
I mean,
no.
If you break them up, like obviously if you're like gonna do all 100 reps or whatever,
all
like
at once.
all at once, like you may have a possibility of doing rhabdo.
David Goggins, and you like happen to be in like David Goggins' network, and he tells you to run like a marathon, then do it. Then you probably get screwed.
First off, I ain't running no marathon.
Yeah.
Not that I can't do it, just because I refuse to. There's no reason for me to do it.
It just really is. It really is cool in that way that we're able to connect and able to do stuff. And actually, as a matter of fact, this might be a good spot to kind of talk about one of the ways that you're going to be sharing something with people so that they can do stuff on their own and maybe even have the opportunity to do stuff with.
So like as you guys know, like I have this program called Streamline that I'm trying to get going, and like obviously we have very limited access to like pools and stuff right now because of the quarantine. So I'm going to be releasing some dry land exercises, or what is it, be exercises? Yeah, dry land exercises to help you with your swimming. Like obviously I can't analyze your swimming technique, but I can show you some things that I did as a swimmer that helped maximize my swimming potential inside the water that I was doing outside of the water. It's called dry land exercises. There's a lot of band work. It's a lot of focusing on body control. Obviously, you're not going to work on breathing because you need a pool to do that. But there's things that you can work on, like perfecting your flutter kick, perfecting your pulling technique. There's things that we can work on that will translate into the water. And I think that would help you if you're interested in that. Like I can release and show you guys some stuff. So I think that'd be really cool. And we can work on all that stuff.
Cool. Cut to commercial.
What's up, guys? It's Mark with Fittest podcast, and let me tell you about a project I'm working on called Streamline. Streamline is designed to make you more confident in and around the water. 15 years, I was a competitive swimmer, 8 of those years at the national level. I qualified for 2008 Olympic trials, 2009 World Champs, and again at 2012 Olympic trials. Swam competitively at Florida State University, water safety instructor, and I swam ocean rescue for a number of years. This program is designed for my CrossFit athletes. This might be the missing part of your game. For my triathletes, I know you guys struggle with that first part of the race. For my first responders, God forbid you ever have to make a water rescue or extraction. For my military candidates, combat, stroke, and water confidence drills. All of this stuff will help you swim better, more confident in the water. And guys, stay tuned for more in-depth tutorials and instruction. Thanks. All right, this is reach and go. And I'm fully extended on the kickboard with the kicking I was doing during the kick drill. I'm gonna pull underneath my body with a straight arm all the way past my hips. My right arm stays on my right side, my left arm stays on its left side. There's no crossover. Nice high elbow on the recovery. You get as much extension on your reach as possible. You always want to reach out to the board in a full straight arm. My breathing is to the side, and I always want to have one goggle in, one goggle out. My head position in the water is looking straight down at the black line. My body is going to rotate around my head, so my head does not move unless it is to breathe. The more you can minimize your movement, the more efficient you'll be in the water. So once again, same strong kick you had on the kicking drill. Your body pulls with a straight arm. Your body's going to rotate around your head, and you're going to breathe one goggle in, one goggle out. Nice high elbows on the recovery, and always reaching as far as you can on extension. This is reach and go. All right, and we are back.
We're back.
And yeah, like there's so many things going on.
There are. Well, I kind of want to touch. It's so easy to just get wrapped up in like current events. Mm-hmm. That I mean, this is kind of current, but
Relative events.
Yeah. But I wanted to. We touched on the Olympics. We touched on CrossFit. I guess like relative to what's going on right now. Besides stay inside and follow the rules, like don't fall for like dumb, God, people are starting to put out stupid information now about getting over this, like getting over the virus. We were saying like if you go on a ketogenic diet, it'll keep you from getting it. Or that's, and I'm all about like some high fat diet, like bacon, steaks, all the way. Just don't assume that's gonna fix things or keep you from getting it, like because people are going to take advantage of this time when you're vulnerable
to spew
bullshit,
just fake like nutritional facts and health facts. And like I honestly I hate the fact, like I hate Instagram fitness. Like not in the sense of like I love that people are being fit on Instagram and sharing like home workouts and what they cook and like meals and stuff. Like Feeding the Frasier is probably like one of my favorite pages to follow because they post like these. Matt Frasier's fiance Sammy posts like these awesome meals, and I always try to like cook them. And like I love like home workouts like certain people do. Like I know Catalyst Strength. Catalyst Athletics has been posting barbell workouts for at home, where it's like I'll save it and follow it. And Hybrid Strength or Hybrid Performance Method post different accessory work that we can do that not many people realize, like the marching kettlebell walk. A lot of people do like the side bends with the kettlebells. They work on their obliques. Like that's not the most effective way. The marching kettlebell walk is definitely more effective. Like nice. I love that kind of stuff. But like the BS stuff, like
so easy.
It's so easy to fall into that trap. Like there's like 100 grams of broccoli has more, or no, 100 calories of broccoli has more protein than 100 calories of steak. Shit. Like, how much broccoli you have to eat to get to 100 calories?
Yep.
Like
just silly stuff like that.
Just silly stuff like that. Like I mean.
So you got to be careful. Like given the times, like a lot of us are kind of desperate for answers, and we want something to like keep us safe. I get it, but be smart.
Oh, and like full disclosure for people, I am 50% vegan, 50% carnivore. That's how I view my diet.
You're half plant-based.
Yeah, it's called omnivore. I combine the best of both worlds. Yeah. That way, I'm totally not effed on nutrition.
Yeah, what's that called? There's like a specific name for that. It's
called an omnivore. It's the
yeah,
omnivore diet.
Like,
I'm trademarking that term now. Omnivore diet.
Yeah. There's gonna be a new
best of both worlds.
Waiting for your new ebook to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even in the context of science, I was listening to the Stronger by Science podcast. Great one, by the way. If you're like a nerd, it's a great one to listen to. I always had my suspicions around heart rate variability because it was such a big deal. Maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, as the whole quantified self became more of a thing. Like you recently had a Whoop band.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, did you ever get one back?
I got one back. They didn't send a charger, so I sent everything back.
You're just done?
Yeah, I was like, I wrote like a nasty review. I was like, you guys freaking suck. Like, you guys, I mean, thank you for helping me initially, but after that, like, you just totally like, you fell off. I'm like, I'm not freaking doing this. I'm not paying you for shit. So here you go.
Because you got the watch and then you have the monthly subscription, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it worked great for like 5 days, and it was awesome. I was finding all these things that I wanted to know and I could work on, and all the things that I didn't want to know, and how much I was missing out on recovery.
Yeah.
So it was really like beneficial, but you know, after it broke, it took like over 3 weeks for them to send me a new one. And then when they sent me a new one, because I sent back everything, because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
They just sent me back the band. I'm like, well, what's good with the band if I can't charge it? So I just sent back everything, deleted the app, and I was like, I'm not paying you guys.
Yeah, yeah. And that stuff, like the whole quantified self stuff is really cool, but especially now, I feel like now, given the circumstances, now is a good time to work on the fundamentals. So, for example, with me, I'd like to work on doing like a stretch, like what's that? Like when you do like you stretch and then touch your toes, but then like I want to be able to put my palms on the floor, and then work towards like a handstand progression, like a clean one, which means I have to work on my shoulders.
From basically standing to straddle handstand. Yeah, just like fundamentals. Yeah. I think that's this is a great time, especially if you're isolated, and you don't have
equipment.
Equipment. Like I think body, like Henry said, like body weight movements are basically essential. Like going back to basics. Like how many people you see at the gym who have horrible squat mechanics?
Yeah.
Like
work on your pistols.
Work on your pistols. Learn how to squat properly. For those of you who have kids, like toddlers and babies have the best squat mechanics. And, and it's without even learning how to do a squat. They know how to do it naturally because that's what babies do.
Yeah.
And like if you watch like your infant or your toddler do things, like their mechanics are so
pretty solid.
I mean, pretty solid. Like they're damn near perfect.
They're raw.
Because it's just basic natural.
They haven't been ruined.
They haven't been ruined. They have like these basic natural instincts to do these mechanisms well. If you ever want to learn perfect squat position, like literally watch a toddler pick up something.
The point being is like there's always an opportunity to go in. Like, don't get caught up in the distractions. I think that's the biggest thing right now is. The basics will always be the basics, and it will guide you towards pretty substantial progress. Especially if you're now discovering that you're just like a first-time person getting into fitness, and you're just restless and you're looking to find ways to make the most of it. We're all kind of on a level playing field. Where most of us, because we don't have gym equipment, so we're all kind of having to play in the same arena and just trying to figure stuff out. So I mean, for me, like, sure, I can squat 295 for 20, but I don't have the means to do that right now. So if it means like squatting a friend, like a 110-pound friend for like 2 sets of 20s or maybe a couple sets of 20s to kind of like get a feel for that.
Yeah.
And then developing something else, like working on a handstand, like there's other ways to develop strength or just see some degree of progress. No matter what your circumstances happen to be.
I agree. And like what I found too, when I was working on barbell work, I used to add like handstand walks after, like especially if I did like push press or push jerk or split jerk.
Yeah.
I would add handstand walks after all that, and I found like my shoulders were so much stronger after.
Yeah.
And like when I went to go max out, like previously like my push jerk was like 285, and I went from 285 to like 310 fairly quickly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like all those things like add up. Like if you can hold your body weight up, you know, from your hands, you can hold a heavy barbell up over your head.
Yeah.
Well,
somewhat related to that is what I was mentioning earlier about the heart rate variability. It's like don't get caught up in the distractions of like learn to play. I think definitely more than anything, learn to just be willing to test stuff out. Because if you're doing the adult thing, going, oh, I should be careful with my shoulders. Like by all means, be fastidious about taking care of that stuff.
Yeah.
But also be willing to go, how far can I push my body? Because like now, especially, I see it, and a couple of my friends see this as an opportunity to come out the other side stronger.
Yeah, and like to add to that too, like there are people with kids. Like I have friends who have kids. Like they're taking the opportunity to, you know, play with their kids and like work on, you know, their baseball swing or their pitching or their throwing or their catching, or just basic physical fitness. Like, hey, let's try to do a handstand hold. Mm-hmm. Like, let's see how long you can do a handstand hold. Like, let's see how many pushes you can do. Let's see how many squats you can do. Like, just certain like little circuits, and like that's the stuff that like they're missing. And like, you know, people are obviously schools are getting back to like online classes, which I think is awesome. And parents are helping out with their kids with lesson plans and stuff, which some of the lesson plans are way different than when we were in school. But it's good that they're, you know, all learning together and they have that opportunity.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, rather than like come out the other end a fat, sloppy mess, you have the chance to
plug this in.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's all right. We got separate audios.
Yeah.
But anyways, like rather than coming out the other end as a fat, sloppy mess, you have the chance to all this stuff.
All right. And
Yep.
we are back.
All right. Well, that's saved, so we're gonna save that.
Cool.
And then we're gonna record another one because I like to screw up stuff.
Well, we're adapting.
Yeah, we are adapting, so it's all good in the hood.
Yeah.
What else? This quarantine has made us do a lot of weird shit too, especially at night. Because I'm going to talk about this, but I don't know how many of you guys watched the Netflix documentary, the #1 show on Netflix, recommended for people is Tiger King.
Ridiculous.
That is some.
I'm not watching it.
It's so weird. Yeah. I don't know how many of you guys are, you know, self-quarantined, but like this Tiger show stuff it's like watching a bad car accident. Like you just can't keep your eyes off of it.
So break it down for me.
Basically, so do you know Big Cat Rescue in Tampa?
Sure.
Like
kind of like Big Cat Habitat here.
Yeah, kind of like the same thing. Yeah. So there was a rivalry back in, I think it started in late 2000s.
Nerds.
And with the owner of Big Cat Rescue and this GW Zoo in Oklahoma. Nerds. And it's gotten so bad to like the owner of GW Zoo sent out a hit against the owner of Big Cat Rescue, and it's there's a lot of things, like the owner of GW Zoo is gay, and like he like tries to seduce like straight men and turn them gay.
He's the Tiger King, right?
Yeah, he's the Tiger King, and like he breeds cubs, and he ran in 2016. He ran for presidency. He ran for president as a independent. And he ran for governor of Oklahoma, and this guy is like, he's out there, like he's way out there. Like his name's Joe Exotic, like that's how out there he is. And like there's another like sanctuary up in like Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, where basically this dude has a cult. I mean, his name is Bhagavan, which if you guys know what Bhagavan means Lord. Mm. Like he calls himself, and he's a doctor of mystic science. So just to tell you how weird the show gets, and there's a theory that the owner of Big Cat Rescue is not as innocent as everyone thinks. Like you know, you guys might have seen the memes, but I mean, after watching the show, I think she killed her husband and fed him to the tiger. No, I'm serious. Like, she's inherited this huge property, and then people were trying to figure out how she has all the money to have all these tigers and all this influence.
Yeah.
Her husband was a millionaire, and he just disappeared. And people just don't disappear. Like, it's very rare that you just don't find them. Like, something happened. And honestly, like, if you were gonna feed somebody to a tiger and you chop them up, there ain't gonna be no evidence. I mean, other than in the tiger's excrement, which I don't think you can pull any DNA from there. So, there's so many. The show is weird, and like I said, it's like a bad car accident. Like, you just can't keep your eyes off it. It's Obviously, you haven't watched it.
I'm not watching it.
You refuse to watch it, but it is so freaking weird.
I just feel like we could be focused on so many bigger things, and yet everyone's obsessed with this ridiculous
I mean,
shit.
I watched it. I haven't finished it, but yeah, it's definitely it's way out there, and I don't think it's something that I would definitely watch all the time, but it's freaking weird.
Yeah. I'm probably not gonna touch that for like 6 months.
Yeah, you're gonna watch it 6 months later and be like,
oh,
bro, what the hell is going on?
What in the hell was that? Why did it just waste my life? I mean, you could very easily be doing something better with your time doing that, but whatever.
To each his own, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But I mean, that's all I have. All the topics I wanted to hit so far. I think we did a pretty good job. I know next week we're gonna have Mike Orlando and Ali Rex on the podcast. For the people who don't know who they are professional wrestlers. They have a couple titles in independent wrestling. They are both king and queen of the North, kind of like Game of Thrones, but in Kickstart My Heart Wrestling Association. And people always like joke around like, oh, wrestling's fake, da da da. Like, you have to be an athlete to do that stuff. Like, if you guys YouTube Mike Orlando, like, there's very few people that I personally know who can run around at 6'4", 275 pounds and do the stuff that he does. I've been working out with them and like kind of helping them train. Like, Mike's had two knee replacements. Ali's had 4 knee surgeries in 12 years, and they just started doing like squats and everything. And there's a total transformation with Ali where like you could see like she's always been made fun of for chicken legs. She doesn't weigh a lot. She weighs like maybe 105 pounds.
That's all
soaking wet. She's probably 5'4", 5'3" maybe. Okay. And like she's thin, but but she started training legs, and like you see like her quads are growing. Like she's like, I've been trying to do abs for years. Like, I've wanted abs for years, and I never thought that doing squats would give me abs. Like, there's certain things that like if you add it into your workout that you haven't done, like your body responds differently. And I told her like the foundation of strength is in your legs. I told the kid that I'm training, Trey, like I was like, you want to gain size? What do you need to train? He's like, I don't know. I was like, well, where did your testosterone come from? And he's like, he kind of like hesitated. I'm like, testosterone comes from your balls. Like, if you train like, what's the closest body part to your balls? It's like your legs. Like, if you train those, you're gonna grow. Well, if you train that, you're gonna grow, and like it's gonna create a stimulus, and it's gonna release testosterone, human growth hormone, and you're gonna gain size. Yeah. And it's gonna benefit you, all around. You and I know from the 20 rep squat program that our core got really, like, especially for me, my core got super thick from doing it. And I can do beltless squats and beltless heavy squats with 365 on my back without having a belt, where previously I had to put a belt on for that. So it's all coming together, and it adding these things and changes your stimulus and how you respond, how your body responds to
makes
stress.
You stronger.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is making you stronger. So I think they're going to talk about fitness, and then like obviously they've been affected too as the entertainment side. WrestleMania, one of their biggest events. They lost they're probably missing out on like $10,000 because like that was a big payday for them because they would have been wrestling all week.
Yeah.
So they'll talk about that stuff, and they'll talk about their fitness journeys and how they got started and everything like that.
And food stuff.
And food stuff, and how Allie's diet is primarily composed of chicken nuggets and chalky milk. And Mike actually eats really clean.
Somebody's gonna get a hold of that girl.
She's trying. She's trying to eat better.
Well, I got nothing else.
Yeah. I'm all fresh out. So, like I said, you want to have a closing statement?
My closing statement is just chill. I think that's really the big thing throughout this whole situation is I'm not saying be completely dismissive of what's going on, because I think people had the idea that I was saying like ignore it and it was going to make things worse. But I'm not saying ignore it. I'm just saying step back from the media chaos that they're raining on everyone with.
Yes.
And focus on what needs to get done. Obviously, follow rules, because that will limit exposure to everybody else and yourself. It'll get us back on the right track sooner, and then we can go and actually enjoy the rest of the life outside that we're missing out on. So that's, again, like, follow rules. Don't get into a crazy hysterical panic mode, which doesn't mean be completely, content or, I forget the word, complacent.
Yeah.
Just don't be complacent, but don't be erratic and ridiculous. It's not necessary.
Agree.
That's it.
I'd like everyone to, try to remain calm, and like, obviously, don't be complacent in any part of your life, because your life can change in 3 minutes. And I've said that before.
Well, our lives have changed.
Yeah,
we
all
didn't
of our
expect
lives.
this.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely didn't expect this.
No,
Like,
it's nuts.
everyone is basically in the same boat now, struggling. So, what I would like to see, like, I know there's nothing stronger than America in crisis, and I've said this before. And what I would love to see as a result of this, like, everything coming back to normal, and people still remaining like kind to each other and helping a neighbor out in any way they can.
Yeah.
And like, when this is all over, like, let's spend our vacations in the United States. Like, if you're gonna go somewhere, travel within the United States. Don't go out of country. Well, like, there's so many beautiful spots in the United States you can go to, and I know a lot of people have packed up the RV and headed to like a national park, which I think is pretty cool. Like, they feel more safe being quarantined out in the wilderness than
in the city.
Which is, I think people are taking advantage of nature and like stuff like that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said, like, there's nothing stronger than America when it's in crisis and when we come together to help each other. So if we spend our time, traveling within the United States and helping our neighbors out, we can create so many, great things, and continue to work out and like continue to push ourselves each and every day to be the best version of ourselves is all we can do.
Cool.
So that's our ending message, and we're gonna sign out. And thank you guys for listening.
Cool. Where can we? Well, you can find me at My Primal Being everywhere on social media. So that's gonna be Instagram and Facebook primarily.
And you can find me on Instagram at MCOX91. And and look out for more streamlined stuff. We're going to film some dryland exercises for you guys to participate in or look at or join, or I don't know what you guys are going to do with it. But it's definitely going to help you guys with your swim mechanics, especially kicking and pulling primarily, and like we'll work on some body rotation and stuff like that, because that's basically the things that most people forget about. And then the only way we can do breathing is in the water, so I'll teach you guys that too. So
sweet. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
What's up, guys? It's Mark from Fittest podcast. And let me tell you about a project My Primal Being, Mark Abaning, and I have been working on. It's called Streamline. Streamline is a swim program with the goal to help you build confidence in and around the water. For my CrossFit athletes, this might be the missing part of your game. For my triathletes, to help you build more confidence in that part of the race. For my first responders, God forbid you ever have to make a water rescue and extraction, I want you guys to be the most prepared for it. For my military members, water confidence drills and combat stroke. I'll be releasing some step-by-step tutorials and drills to help you maximize your swim potential and have you swimming more efficiently and more effectively. As most of you guys know me, I was a competitive swimmer for 15 years, 8 of those years at the national level, qualified for Olympic trials in 2008 and 2012, qualified for World Champ trials in 2009, was a collegiate swimmer at Florida State University, and I want to help share my knowledge. I want to spread my knowledge with you guys, get you swimming the best you can ever swim. I guarantee you guys, working with me, I'll have you swimming faster and more effectively than you ever have. Thanks.